So I hope you've enjoyed that show. You managed to spot plenty of elements. In case you didn't, we're going to run through the answers very quickly. So in order that they appear on the periodic table, we've got hydrogen. Well, hydrogen's in all sorts of things, most notably things like water. So in the H2O, we mentioned it in the drinks, and the H2O2, the hydrogen peroxide. We've got helium balloons there. The batteries had, where's my rechargeable battery? No, there we go. The lithium ion battery, lithium. We've got beryllium, I didn't mention it, but beryllium in things like some of the light bulbs. The beakers that we used for this had boron in them. They're boron silicate beakers. The candles, when we lit the candles outside, if you remember that, obviously carbon appears in a whole host of other places as well. The salad bag, the salad was packed under nitrogen gas, that inert gas we mentioned. Plenty of nitrogen in the air as well, so if you reckon that if you're going to claim nitrogen just from the fact we were breathing, I'll give you that as well. There was oxygen, again in the air, but the hydrogen peroxide experiment, the elephant's toothpaste, produced oxygen. Fluorine in the mouthwash over there. The noble gases, neon, in the fluorescent light bulbs. In fact, you've got argon and krypton and xenon all appear in fluorescent light bulbs. You can have most of the noble gases from fluorescent light bulbs. Sodium, we had sodium bicarbonate. There was also the salt on the table, sodium chloride. The pencil sharpener had magnesium in it, so there's the pencil sharpener, the magnesium alloy. We had aluminium foil down there. Glass, all the glasses have silicon dioxide in them. So all of the glasses had that. There was phosphorus in the Coca-Cola. It's phosphoric acid in that case. There was sulfur in the wine, and also in the dandruff shampoo. So it was selenium sulfide. Was selenium
sulfide?
Sulfides. There we go. Right. We had chlorine in the salt. Sodium chloride. Back to argon light bulbs. Potassium. Purple flame, the purple flame on the candle. We've got calcium carbonate in the chalk. Couldn't find any scandium, but that's the next one there. But you do actually get scandium in the alloys in bike frames. Titanium was in the nitinol memory metal, and also titanium dioxide in the whitener in things like paper and on the cards. We had vanadium steel scissors. We had chromium in the stainless steel. We had manganese electrodes in the batteries down there. Iron, again, in the cutlery in the form of steel. Don't think there was any cobalt, but then we did have some nickel in the nitinol, again. There was copper in the coins, but you also get copper in pewter as well. Zinc was one of the electrodes in the batteries. The spoon, the disappearing spoon, remember the one that melted in the hot water? That's gallium. So gallium melts at about 40 degrees, so actually you can keep it molten in your hand. If some of you may remember, teachers particularly may remember a magician called Uri Geller who used to bend a spoon. I reckon he did it with a gallium spoon by just rubbing it, heating it up. There was germanium in LEDs. Germanium LEDs, for example, in the phone. Awful lot of elements appear in phones. Didn't mention them, but go and have a look what you can find in a mobile phone. Masses of stuff in there. Acetylene in the microchips as well. Selenium in the anti-dandruff shampoo. Bromine appears in films, silver bromides. We had strontium, red flames down there. Then we've got a whole stretch of elements where I couldn't find any. Some of these, when we get to technetium, very radioactive. In fact, the first element to be artificially made. couldn't get my hands on any of that, thankfully. Right, silver, again, in the film. We also mentioned it in reference to the spoon. The spoon was not silver, so you need to claim the silver, you need to get it from the film. Tin in the pewter, again. Then we ended up, then we started to have some problems getting things. So we had barium, green flame down there. There was tungsten in the light bulb. We mentioned tungsten filament light bulbs. Osmium and iridium appeared in the nib of the pens. My gold ring. We had the mercury thermometer. Where was that? There we go. The lead crystal glass. Pewter used to have lead in it, doesn't anymore. Bismuth, down there, bismuth crystal. Bismuth, really interesting. It's the least radioactive element on the periodic table. So it has a half-life of about 1 billion times the age of the universe. So until recently, it was predicted to be radioactive, but no one actually measured it because it's so, well, it's barely radioactive at all. Anyway, that was the bismuth crystal down there. Radium, maybe some on the Marie Curie certificate. And then we get down to the very bottom of the periodic table. A lot of the lanthanides, so the elements that you'll see separated at the bottom of the periodic table, turn up in things like mobile phones, so phone screens, lanthanums, praseodymium, and so on. A whole swathe of those you end up in mobile phones, and they're known as rare earth metals. In fact, they are a shortage of them. Good reason why you should be recycling your phones. Cerium was in the lighter, so the lighter flint has cerium in it. And then we get down to the really heavy ones. So, anybody get what element was in the glass, the green glass? It's uranium glass. Perfectly safe, okay, don't worry about it. It's got a hugely long half-life, and I'm very happy drinking from it. And if you spot any, yeah, buy that, it's fascinating. So just, yeah, keep a UV light on you and go to charity shops and check whether it's got uranium in it. And then the heaviest element then was the one that we found in the smoke detector, americium, again, named after America. Interesting fact about americium, its discovery was announced on a children's television program, a couple of days before it was actually published. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. That's where all these elements are. There's actually a whole load of other places you might have spotted these elements as well. You can go and have a discussion with in your classroom with your teachers about where you might find them. For example, you could argue you had magnesium in the chlorophyll within the greens, leafy vegetables and so on, and a host of other places where some other elements may have cropped up. Okay. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it.